my name's Chris, and I'm going to be your video guide to walk through the process of how to customize your IP address of your electronic displays EDV111 LED sign. And if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to obtain or download the manual from the website, and it's basically the EDI EDV11 Allen Bradley AOI manual. And we're going to need some supplies here. So there should be a programming cable that should come with your sign that is a DB9 to a RJ11 phone jack connector on here. And then we're also going to need a couple of files, and we've got these linked up in the manual here, but here's the website link to go to HMS's website to download the Anybus Configuration Manager software. And then we'll also need the electronic displays CFG file. Now at the time of this video we're using version 1.1 in here. But basically this CFG file is what has the IP address information to configure your sign. So after we've went to the HMS website and we've downloaded the software, go ahead and install it, and I've already done so on this computer. And this is the Anybus Communication Manager. Now we're going to choose blank configuration here and just say OK. Now the Anybus Communicator software is basically a COM port driven software. So on my machine here, I basically have a real COM port. I'm sort of lucky. I still have the legacy COM port on this laptop, and I am going to basically use COM1. Now if you're not as fortunate as I am, you can right click on my computer here if you have Windows XP and go to Properties and then bring up Hardware and Device Manager. And if you have one of those USB to serial converters, it should show up here under Ports and Comms. And you can kind of see what COM port that USB device is that you're using. So in my case, I am using COM1, so that's going to be okay. And then now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my programming port. So I'm going to go over to my Anybus communicator, and in this case, I just have my Anybus communicator exposed where we can see it. But there may be a port or a connection on the sign in the future. So once we have that plugged in and we have our COM port selected, and we also have our CFG file that we've obtained from the Electronic Displays website, I'm ready to basically open that config file up. So I'm going to do a file open and then browse to my desktop and then click the version 1.1. And again, this version number might change as we go on in time. But right now, this is the configurations file for the communicator, and this is how it basically communicates to the PLC, and it also exchanges the data into ASCII. So in this case, we have set a default IP address of 192.168.1.11. If you should so choose, you can change this IP address to your IP scheme to your liking. So this is where you would do that now. Now in this case, I'm going to leave it as default, and then if I do change it though, I would want to do a file save as and just only change the IP address, the gateway, and the subnet mask. Make sure that you don't change any other settings in here because these have been specifically formatted to communicate between the PLC and our LED sign. Okay, so once you've got this configuration set, the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to click on Connect here. And that's going to basically go ahead and connect to the Anybus communicator. And right here, basically, it shows that we're online. Now, the next step is to download the configuration file. Now, I'm going to go ahead and press the download button here. And you'll see that it's going to transmit the sign. And then what will happen is the Anybus communicator will reboot. And you'll see the LEDs on the front panel reset and go through a cycle, and then eventually come back to a running ready state on that. So if we did have the Anybus communicator already configured to the PLC, we would be able to monitor some of that information. Basically, we see the binary information coming from the PLC in its memory area here. But that's really irrelevant to the configuration, but just some information that's kind of handy to know. So it's as simple as that, changing our IP address, going online, and downloading it. Once we've done that, our Anybus communicator should be ready to go as far as the Ethernet portion, and we can go ahead and disconnect and then close down the software. Now, if we want to test that, we need to make sure that we are in fact talking to the Anybus communicator, and in order to do that, our network computer needs to be on the same subnet. So I have a wireless LAN, or I'm sorry, I have a wired LAN, and I'm going to go to the properties of that, and I did what's called a fixed IP setting. So I went to TCP/IP protocols properties, and you can see my computer is set for the same subnet, 192.168.1, only I'm .51, and the Anybus communicator sign is .11. So once I've set that, I'm kind of old school, so I like to use DOS, and I can at this point just double check that I'm actually talking to the Anybus communicator by typing its IP address into my computer. So once I do a ping process here, I can verify that my computer is in fact talking to the Anybus communicator. And then as well, I should be able to talk to the PLC as well when I get to that point. So that pretty much concludes this tutorial on how to change the IP address of the Anybus communicator. And again, this is Chris. Thanks for watching this little tutorial series.